Okay, first day of vlogging, back on my second video already. Feeling a bit more energised than earlier, to be honest. Talking about health and fitness, you know, it's a perfect example of first thing in the morning, you know, even if you wake up motivated, ready for the day, feeling positive, you're still not, you know, you've been immobile all night, you've been laying there, so you're not full of energy. I've just been for a run, I feel fantastic. So, prime example, people, get out there, you know, stay active, like all the time, keep doing some sort of fitness related stuff, and you'll be energized. It's not the case of you do lots of training and you feel tired all the time. It gives you more energy, makes you feel more energized. Obviously, as long as you're relatively sensible with it and space it out. You know, if you're training 7 days a week, it might have the opposite effect. But yeah, get out there, do some fitness, feel good. That's how it should be. But yeah, just want to put in some miles on my Kane. He is an amateur boxer, very good one at that. So I thought it'd be a nice time to do the topic I brushed upon earlier of semi-pro, white collar, whatever you want to call it, fighters, and that side of boxing, and then amateur and pro. I mean, so yeah, I touched upon it in my first video, my little intro to vlogging. And yeah, let me turn this light on. I'm gonna get a light in here. Give you light. But yeah, so I touched upon it earlier, and this is a perfect example. I mean, I box on white collar shows, sort of getting up to what people are calling a semi-pro level, won some belts, fought some good fights, fought a lot of ex-amateur boys that have had like 20 plus amateur fights, and then, you know, come over to my side of things, not that I own it, but you know what I mean, my side of things, because of, you know, various reasons, bad decisions they got in the amateurs they didn't like, which happens in all sides of boxing though, not, you know, singling out the amateurs there. And yeah, and so they're high level fighters. So like I said before, you can't really call them white collar fighters because, you know, these are boys that have fought in the championships, some have even won it. And then of course you've got the other side, which is you've got ex-pros coming onto these white collar shows now. You know, I have a boys that, or men, boys, whatever, that have come from the pro game where they've picked up a couple of losses, maybe thought the program's not for them, chucked it in, come back to this because they still like fighting though. Or others that are maybe hit the peak of their powers, in so many words, because of their age. Maybe they're like nearly 40, but they was a top pro, and they're coming on these white collar shows just to keep busy, just to get some fights. And these are top operators, you know. So it can be a high level of boxing. Like there's patches of it. In most white collar shows, good ones, you'll get say 15 fights on a bill, which is quite a lot, and then the first 10, well 10, I won't say the first 10 because it's the majority of the show, 10 of the fights will be, you know, not that high level. You know, I've seen some fights over a pack of peanuts in the pub, probably got a higher level going on, but you know, people still enjoying whatever. And then the last 5 will be, you know, them ex-amateur boys, ex-pros, or people like myself, you know, I've got a considerable bit of boxing ability, and you know, these are boys that can turn pro. So yeah, it's definitely a worthy part of the boxing industry, and I think it's definitely going to turn into something else in the coming years. I don't know if it's going to, you know, officially be semi-pro. I don't know how it's going to happen. I've got a few ideas and plans about what I don't want to do with myself, but yeah, I don't actually know. I just know that I think it's a positive for the sport. Okay, just quickly had to hit pause then to go and let my dog in the house because he was creating, and he is pretty vulnerable because he's only a little Chihuahua cross Yorkshire Terrier, so he could get eaten by a cat. But yeah, so I'll let him in. That's another one. What do people call that? It's a chalky, isn't it? A Yorkshire Terrier and Chihuahua, they call it chalky. just like the word vlogging. We don't want to hear that. It's not a chalky, okay? I love the dog, but he's a mongrel. He's a Chihuahua Cross Yorkshire Terrier. Chalkies, man. Like Wales and Labradoodles and stuff. Jesus. But yeah, getting off of dog breeding subjects, back to what I was saying. I think that it's a positive for the sport overall, semi-pro boxing coming through. But yeah, like I said, a lot of amateur boxers, or not amateur boxers, but more people involved with amateur boxing, so the trainers and gym owners, etc., seem to have a bad feeling towards white collar or semi-pro. I'm going to keep throwing that in there. Yeah, I think for some reason they've got a bit of a bad attitude towards that side of the sport. And I can sort of understand why, because, okay, I'm going to start by saying why I think it's a bit justified, because, you know, like with any sport and other sides of boxing, there can be some match fixing, apparently. I don't really know of any or any specific shows. I don't want to cause no ruckus, but yeah, it goes on. You know, people are out there going down to their knees for money. I'm not talking about on street corners, I'm talking about in the ring. So yeah, I mean, I can see why a lot of people put that all onto white collar boxing, like it's all a bit fixed, the talent level's not this and that, but it happens in all, like, happens in the amateurs a bit. Let's have it right, you know. It can be a bit cliquey, maybe money getting thrown about as well. 100% happens in the pro game. I mean, Canelo Alvarez, Kennedy Golovkin, prime example. Look at that decision. Who actually, okay, I won't say who actually had Canelo winning, because quite a few people did, but you know, 7 out of 10 people, maybe I'd go as far as 8 out of 10 people had Triple G. I certainly did, even though it's close. But then look at that decision, because he's the money fighter, you know, he's golden boy. So the promotion says it all. So it does happen in all like sort of areas of the sport and in lots of other sports. But I think white collar has become like the dumping ground for any bad news about boxing or any bad sides of boxing in the eyes of amateur officials, and not so much pro. I don't really get it as much from pro, because it's still prize fighting. The pro and the white collar or semi-pro is still prize fighting. It's money orientated, whereas amateurs not so much. Not on the basis level of fighting. It's not money orientated anyway. Maybe as you go up throughout the network, but yeah, so I think it's good. I mean, I'll talk about myself, just an example, right? You know, I'm 24. I've always loved boxing. I was trained when I was little. I've always watched it. Obviously, was a Mike Tyson fan growing up. But yeah, I was a large child. Okay, to put it nicely. I was as round as I was tall. You know, hitting 11 stone when I was like 11. I mean, so you get the picture. Very unhealthy. And yeah, obviously going through my teenage years, drinking, smoking, you know, getting up to no good, some good, but yeah. And then, so I didn't really take boxing seriously, although I was training a little bit throughout them periods, until I was like 20. Had my first fight on a white collar show when I was 21. Like I've said, you do get some bad sides to the sport in all aspects, and in white collar, one of them, my first ever fight, I was matched with someone, I think the difference was about 10 kilos heavier than me. Didn't know until the night, because there was no official weigh-in. So yeah, it was either I fight him or I disappoint everyone that had paid for tickets to come and watch me and call off the fight. So I fought him, done the smart thing, got on my toes, boxed him, moved, and I won. So that was my first fight, and that is, you know, sort of putting under the limelight a bad side that comes with any type of boxing, but white collar, for those of you that are screaming for a noose around his neck, so to speak. But then yeah, from there on, I never went back to that show, for starters. Show does well now, makes lots of money, good for you, mate. But then when you're talking about standards, you know, I kept switching to shows, fighting in, you know, leisure centres. A lot of pros fighting leisure centres. I had a couple of fights in leisure centres against some strong boys, not great boxers. My boxing skill took me through. Kept piling up wins. I got to, I think it was about 4. Yeah, I got to 4-0, and then it was my 5th fight. I'd found GBB Promotions that I box for now. Check them out on Facebook, you'll see it's quite a high level of boxing. Had some ex-pros on there, like I mentioned, loads of ex-amateur boys. Good level of boxing, mainly throughout. And yeah, I fought someone on there called Mickey Thomas, and he had been on the circuit for a long time, you know. He's like 40 fights plus, I think, so like a bit of what something like a journeyman. But I fight super middleweight, by the way. I'm one of them awkward ones. I don't know if he's middleweight or light heavy. And yeah, him being I'm like, well, you can't tell I'm sitting down, but I'm roughly 6 foot, 5'11" 3/4. But this Mickey Thomas, you know, he's like 4'9". I don't even know, about 5'6" to be realistic. Yeah, so he's stocky. He's like a Mike Tyson turtleneck, and when I come up against him in my 5th fight, yeah, I got sucked into a bit of a war with him. It was a good fight, entertaining fight, but he could actually box, and it's the first time I encountered like a real technical boxer, especially that size with that strength. And yeah, I got the decision against me. A lot of people said that I won. You got to bear in mind, all these fights at the minute have been 3 times 2-minute rounds. It's, you know, 2-minute rounds. Like I said, I'm not pro level yet. I'm not trying to say that semi-pro is that kind of standard, so it is 2-minute rounds, but anyone that's been in the ring knows they're still very difficult. But yeah, this fight I'm on about with Mickey Thomas was 4 times 2, my first 4 times 2 round fight. Well, actually my second. I had my second ever fight was a 4 times 2 round by mistake. Obviously it was meant to be 3 times 2, but that's a story for another time. And yeah, so I'd done the 4-2s, got the decision against me. Asked for a rematch, straight to Mickey's face, rather than doing it all, you know, through promoters, etc. I just went up to him in the back room respectfully, said, look, it was a good fight. I feel like I could have got that decision, so do you want to do it again? He said yes. A couple of months later, I got the win. And I beat him convincingly, because this time I just used my boxing ability and kept it long, you know, popped the jab move. So by this point, I'm 5-1. And then after that, I had a great fight, actually in a cage, so I won't break this down, I'll save this for another time, but some local people from Gravesend put on a show, an MMA show. Obviously I knew them through mutual friends, and I sort of knew them quite well in a way, through training, etc. And they asked me to fight, and I was like, look, would you want to just keep it boxing? No, but we'd like to have you on the card because it'd be entertaining, you know, you're a known fighter around the area. I said, yeah, that'd be great, like, it's good that you're doing a show. I'll try it out. Fought in the cage, won, very entertaining fight. It was 5 times 2 because the MMA boys obviously do longer rounds, so I had to make up for it by doing more rounds at the 2-minute mark. Stopped the fella in the 5th round, so, you know, furthest I'd went at that point. Great quality of show, showed me a new side to the level of show you could be on without being pro. Great commentary, you know, everything like that. Great videoing and photography going on. So yeah, that took me up to 6-1. And like, obviously, you know, I've been waffling on a bit about myself here, but you can get the picture. Like, it's white collar, but the level, it's good. If you build it in the right way and you fight the right people, you're fighting talented people, you're building up just like you would in amateur, or just like you might at the beginning of your pro career, you know. And you're getting yourself ready, so it's a viable way to turn over these days. Like, I've got 2 sponsors, great sponsors. I'm gonna throw them in there now. Sorry, it's gonna happen. One is Big Bars Equipment. You can find them on Instagram at big_bars. I know, very creative, very simple. Nice, great name, great logo. Yeah, you can find it on Instagram under them details, and on Facebook the same. Great gym equipment. Friend of mine that's just starting out, very passionate, very dedicated. So any of you that's into your gym, he'll supply you with, you know, your wrist supports, back support belts, all that kind of jazz. And then my other supporter is the #1 supplement shop, Vitamin Shop in Gravesend. Look them up. There's vitamin shops all over the country. Obviously, my sponsor is the Gravesend branch. Great people down there. My man Peter down there, he's got knowledge upon knowledge about everything to do with health and fitness. So he's a great person to have on board and very helpful if you want to get your supplements and whatnot. So Instagram for them is @vitamin_shop Gravesend. Something, I don't know where the underscore is, but you'll find it if you type that in anyway. And same on Facebook. So yeah, hit them up. They're very useful for anyone that likes their health and fitness, as well as being my sponsors. But that's what I mean. So I'm building it up like a pro. There's that level to it. And then most recently, let's fill the gaps. Where did I go? So I had a few more fights for GBB Promotions in between. I think I got my record up to 9-1. Some of them fights, not great opposition, I can't lie. I'm always asking for the better fights. Like, I want better, I want to step up a level each time. But sometimes on the night, the person might not be at the level they thought they was going to be. I might put in a good performance, whatever. The fights just didn't seem that great of a level. I had one really good fight, not a boxing match fight, with someone called Dale Gilmore from Bromley Combat Sports Gym. Great gym, by the way, check them out. And yeah, that turned into a bit of a war. Really enjoyable fight for everyone, but it's more because, not sucking myself off here, it's more because I didn't box, then he was that good, but he's strong as an oak. But yeah, brings me to my most recent fight against one Mr. Frank Collin. I think he used to do a bit of amateur, I'm sure. Good pedigree, like decent boxer. Yeah, we done 5-2s for that belt there in the middle, which I am now proud owner of, after beating him over 5-2 rounds. Seems Frank's a bit of a sore loser, so yeah, I went a bit sour after the fight, but hey ho, maybe a rematch down the line. I know he's screaming for one. Happily do that again. But yeah, like credit to the boy. Look, he might be a mouthy little. I feel like I shouldn't swear on YouTube. I don't know what that's about, but like, yeah, he's a mouthy little shit anyway. So, but I'll still give him his props. He's not a bad boxer. It was a good fight, and it showed off the level that you can get on white collar, which is what I'm trying to showcase here. And then yeah, like the next step, which really is going to showcase off where white collar can take you, and that is in 2 weeks' time, I am going to Malta to have my first fight abroad. So look at that, flying out somewhere to fight abroad against a very high level fighter. I believe he boxed on Box Nation, but it was in like some sort of tournament setup. Should have found out the details before I'd done this really. But yeah, if you type in Box Nation knockout tournament on the internet, it'll come up. Yeah, so I think he's been sort of dabbled in the program before and come out. He's high level. Richard Vella is his name. Richard the Viper Vella, if anyone wants to look him up. So yeah, he's decent level. I'm confident as always. I'm gonna go out there and give it my all. I'm hoping to come back with that win. Like I said, training hard, confident. But like, look at that level for white collar. It's like, how can you call that white collar? But yeah, so hopefully this spurs a few discussions amongst people, gets the topic popping. I know I've only just started out, so I don't know how many people are going to see this video, but yeah, let me know what you think, people, about this side of boxing, and give some opinions. I'm prepared for some harsh comments, so come at me, bro. But hopefully, yeah, just give other people an insight, and anyone that's interested, yeah, in my little journey as well, I'll be plodding along. It is for another belt out in Malta, so hopefully I'll be champ of Malta when I come back. I have to go out there and defend, which would be great. But yeah, just to throw you through, I know it looks like you just get a belt in every fight on these shows. It's not really like that. Like that black one there is a novice title, so I'd only had 3 fights when I fought for that, 2 or 3 fights. So I was a novice because I showed a bit of boxing ability. I was like, okay, we'll put them up against someone who's good and put it as a novice title because, you know, they deserve a bit of a title for the level they're at, but obviously they're novice title. Makes sense. Explain that one well. That one over there is the Kent area, which is my county, my whole area. So that was that Mickey Thomas that I fought. He won that in the first fight and I took that off him. And against little gobshot I fought last time, that was for the British title. So, and listen, it's just like the pro sanctioning bodies. You got WBC, WBO, etc., and they're all world titles, but different. Obviously, this, I know that's a British title, but one, it's not pro, so obviously it's not a British title, pro level, and different white collar shows will have their own British champions. So, like, listen, I'm still proud of that. I still won it, but I can understand some of the comments that people might make or perceptions they might have about it, and I understand that myself because there's loads of these belts floating about. But I just thought I'll give you a little breakdown of what they are, and like I said, if anything, they're nice for my nephews to play with and they fill up the shelf. But yeah, so give me your thoughts, anyone that's interested, or just take that bit of information, or hopefully you just burn some time watching me blabber on. Either way, I shall see you soon. My next video is actually going to be a nice little training video of me and my good friend, giving you a new way to train, fun way, so your training doesn't get one dimensional and boring. So keep tuned, have a look in a couple of days, and I shall see you soon.